Hello everyone, welcome to my show It's Okay Not to Be Okay. Today we are going to learn about how we perceive the things. So let's get started. Through five senses, the information comes to our mind, that is eyes, ears, nose, tongue and touch. Through eyes, we see the things. Through ears, we listen. Through nose, we smell. Through tongue, we taste. And through skin, we touch and feel the things. Let me explain you this with one example. You can see in this image, there is 6 in between the two person, and one person could see that number as 6 and another one can see the same number as 9, and both of them perceive that they are correct. They are seeing the correct number, but from that angle, first person's angle, it is 6, and from the another person's angle, it is 9. But when we as a third person visualizing this incidence, we can make out that one person is visualizing the same number as a 6 and another one is visualizing it as a 9. Means they are not able to see the things, recognize, acknowledge the things from others' points of view. Now, look at this diagram carefully. I'm changing the diagram. Now look at this diagram carefully and perceive, after seeing this diagram of a lady, what you can see, which type of lady it is, whether it is a young lady, old lady, what comes to your mind. Now I am showing you the third diagram of the lady, which will help you to visualize the second one from the another perspective. Can you see the difference? Earlier you could see the second lady as an old lady with a long nose, very big nose, but now you can remark it as that the lady is very young and it's a beautiful lady with necklace in her neck. Can you see the black mark over there? That is a necklace. So see how this way we perceive the things. Can you make out within this 10 seconds how you perceive the things based on your conditioning? And you can now make out how much conditioning has been done in our lifespan, and this is why it has a power. This conditioning has a lot of power to help us to visualize the thing. It is very powerful conditioning. So it is very important how we perceive the things based on our conditioning. So we can change this conditioning and visualize the things, perceive the things in a better way. So let me explain you this concept of perception with two stories. So the first story is about a teacher and a child. The teacher is a maths teacher and the child is 6 years old and his name is Brian. So the teacher asked Brian, If I will give you one apple and one apple and one apple, how many apples will you have, Brian? Then the Brian started thinking and started calculating it on his fingers. And after a few seconds after the calculation, he said very confidently that I will have 4 apples. The teacher got disappointed. Why Brian is saying 4? He's so good at mathematics, and why this is so easy and still he's calculating wrong. So she thought maybe Brian has not listened to me properly, and that is why he's doing this mistake. Then she again asked Brian, listen to me carefully. This is very easy. You can do it. Listen now. If I will give you one apple and one apple and one apple, how many apples will you have? Now, this time, Brian can see the disappointment. The child Brian was able to see the disappointment of the answer on his teacher's face. So this time he was very conscious and he was little apprehensive also. So again he calculated on his fingers. Then after a few seconds he hesitantly answered, "Ma'am, it will be 4. The disappointment continued on the teacher's face. Then she remembered that Brian likes strawberries. So she thinks that Brian is committing this mistake because he doesn't like apples. So she asked again, Brian, now this time please listen to me carefully. If I will give you one strawberry and one strawberry and one strawberry, how many strawberries will you have? This time there was no pressure on Brian as he could see the happy face of his teacher. So he calculated and confidently said, "Ma'am, it will be 3 strawberries." So the teacher got very excited and she was so confident. The teacher was very happy with Brian's answer. She thought this was the reason because she asked apples and Brian doesn't like it. That's why he was answering wrong. So teacher asked again, Brian, now tell me again. If I will give you one apple and one apple and one apple, then how many apples do you have? Then Brian again told, Ma'am, I will have 4 apples. Then teacher asked, how Brian, how you are saying me that you will have 4 apples when it is 3 with strawberries? Then Brian said, because ma'am, I already have 1 apple in my bag. So what we learned from this story is that we might think that the other person is giving a wrong answer. He's thinking in an incorrect way, but we cannot see the other person's perspective. He might be correct from his perspective. So we need to learn this, as we only concentrate on our perspective and then we wonder why everything is going wrong, why others are not understanding this concept. So from this story of the student and a teacher, we could understand that Brian was telling right because he already had 1 apple in his bag. So he was calculating that apple also. But teacher didn't know that he is calculating the apple that is there in his bag. So could you able to make out these things happens with us also? Now, the second story I'm going to tell you about is from the very famous book of the 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People. So, so the second story I would like to share with you is an incident in which I was there in the restaurant on weekend. As we all know, we love to enjoy our favorite food, our favorite time, and we would like to spend our time in a best way in our weekends. So it was the incidents of the weekend when I was there in my favorite restaurant and I was enjoying my favorite coffee with my favorite book, and at that time I saw everybody is enjoying their time. They were having chit chatting with their lovely people, friends, family, loved ones, and they were enjoying their food and they were enjoying the ambience, music over there, and some were relaxing. And it's the best moment for everybody I could make out at that time, and it was so lovely that everybody is enjoying their time till the time one man with his 3 children came over there in the restaurant. And that man came over there and he sat down with his head down, and he was not at all bothered what his children are doing. They were grabbing the papers, they were disturbing the other visitors or the guests over there. They were shouting, and the man was not at all bothered what their children are doing. So I felt very bad how he's doing. He's not at all bothered about it. So I keep on watching it because I was getting disturbed somehow, and I saw other guests were also getting disturbed with this kind of behavior of the children, and the parent is not at all bothered about it. So he was sitting next to me, so I went to him and I told him, hello, your children are making so much of noise, they are disturbing other guests, could you please look into it? So he just get shocked and he said, oh, I'm so sorry, I was not aware of that. He was just actually he was very confused at that time. And he said me that I'm just coming, we are just coming from the hospital where my wife has died an hour before. So it was like, oh my god, what I'm saying to this man, how he must have been feeling about this moment. So I said, I'm so sorry. How can I help you out? Could you please tell me what happened? Then he told me about the thing that his wife was suffering from a terminal illness, and she's no more now, and we don't know how to react. My children also don't know how to react at this moment. So my complete perspective has changed at that time. Earlier, this man who I was seeing as an unresponsible parent, now I could see him, his suffering, how bad, how hurt he is, how sad he is at this moment, who has just lost his wife. So this is how the perspective of our change within a seconds. So we don't know how people are suffering, what they are feeling, and we keep on placing our judgment on others, and we think the others are not doing their best, and what is happening actually in their life we don't know. So this is how the things happen. So we need to think from the third person's perspective.
I don't, at that time I was not knowing, because I was so into me that this is my weekend and I'm at the restaurant. I want to enjoy this time, I want to relax. And other guest was also in that phase. They were enjoying, chit chatting, relaxing, everything. But to that man, it was a different word. He was not knowing what is happening, and for him he was just relaxing himself to how to face this thing and how to do what to do with this. So this is how the things happen. So we need to learn this, to how we need to perceive the things from the others perspectives, to be a better human being, to be better empathetic, to be more empathetic. And this is, I think this will really help you out to think from the other person's perspective, because we keep on judging the people from our perspective and we don't know what is happening over in their life.
Always remember, life is not a straight line, it's curvy. And with these curves, ups and downs, the situations, the problems, the many things comes to your life, and we have to tackle these challenges with smile in our face. Be strong, you can do anything, and always remember, it's okay not to be okay, because we are meant to be whatever we want to change in our life. If we want to change it, we can change. We can improve our confidence level, we can improve our self-esteem. Whatever we want to achieve in life, we can achieve it if we really want it. So always remember to be happy and give gratitude to yourself the way you are. Appreciate yourself and be happy. I will see you in the next episode. Till then, take care. Bye bye. My love and hugs to all of you. Bye bye.